So looking at Chapter 2 of Legion, the new show on FX, and I gotta say this was way better than the first episode. Wasn't entirely blown away by what I saw last week, but what I saw this week really made me feel like this show can go places and have another story. I really wish we did more in the hospital this episode, though. I really thought that was a really nice set piece that we had last week, and we needed to see more of it in this week. But going into the things I liked about this episode right away, I gotta say, Dan Stevens. I said this last week and I'll say it again. He needs to win an Emmy. He needs to win all these awards for this episode, for this series, because his character is so intriguing. David is such a good character that we need to see more people like this on television. He's just so good and such a fascinating character study for him. And I'm beginning to think that there's more here with his character and he's more powerful than I began to think. So I'm going to finish watching this series. I wasn't planning on doing that because of how much I thought the first episode lacked. But this episode really justified everything I'm seeing, everything I want to see, everything I'm needing from this series. And everything with David Heller's character just worked. And you see him seeing his past and we don't know what's really going on. We see a lot of scenes of him and he's in this memory place, which was a beautiful scene, a beautiful idea for this series. And you see his past, you see him with Aubrey Plaza's character in the past, you see him with his sister, all these things about him and how he came to be who he is today. And we see a scene where he's talking to this doctor, Dr. Poole. That actor is really good and he's doing a great job in his role. Everything we're seeing is so beautiful and I'm so entranced by it. I can't believe we got this on television because there are so many scenes that are very cinematic, very movie-like, and it's just gorgeous to see. And I'm unbelievably impressed by that. There's some scenes where they take the frame of the camera and they make it smaller so it looks more cinematic, like you're watching a big screen, and it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And the character of Sid, who is played by the girl from Fargo, whose name is escaping me right now. Her name is Rachel Geller. She's doing great. I loved her character in the first episode. I love her even more in this episode. She's so intriguing. Her character changed so much since the first episode, and I'm excited to see where her story goes a lot too. Why doesn't she want people to touch her? What is her mutant power? I still want to see all that. It's going to be so fascinating to see. And then we got Jean Smart in this episode. Again, another Fargo alum. She was so well done, so beautiful. I love Jean Smart. She's so strong. She's got this power behind every performance she gives. I'm excited to see what happens with her and where it goes with her because she's in the sim. She has this whole building with her. Summerland. I don't know where this is going to go. Is she the leader? I feel like she might know more about David than she's letting on. Maybe she knows his parents. And one thing I really liked, when we go back to these dream sequences with David and another character, Patonomy, who I love this actor. I don't know his name, but the guy that plays Patonomy, he's so good. He's so intriguing. His whole power is so unique. He's a lot like David, and he's such a well-grounded character that we need something in a series like this. But when they go into these dream sequences, there's one thing I really liked. When we see all these dreams, we see his parents, but we never see the face of David's parents. And I really like that, because if we saw their faces, it would lose some effect, because we don't know who these people are. We're trying to figure out who these people are along the way, and it's really nice to see that. Both of the characters named Carrie really intrigued me in this episode. There's this whole beautiful scene every time that David was in the MRI machine and it would scan up and you'd see it going from frame to frame, scene from scene like that. I thought that was really well done. This is a very visual heavy series, and it's something I really like to see in my television, is something where the visuals really pop out, they really stand out to you, they make you feel things, they make you feel like, yes, I understand the world because of the visuals, and that was really nice to see. Everything about the series just screams beautifully well shot and beautifully well done. All these characters are super strong. And I'm not going to spoil this episode for people because this is a really nice episode. It's really a good way to get yourself into this world. But we see a lot of things with David and his past in this episode and things with his sister. And we learn a lot about his power. And when we see about his power in this episode, it really makes you think, is Charles Xavier going to be in this series? At first, I thought his father could have been Charles, but I have not read the Legion comics. I do not plan on reading the comics about this character. I don't want to. I want to finish the series and find out for myself what's going on. But if they put Charles in this, I would not be surprised. There's a lot that can happen in this series, and I'm excited to see where it goes. The casting is on point. Aubrey Plaza's character, who bothered me a little in the first episode, she's becoming this different character than what I expected. And there's a scene where her and David, they're getting high off this certain thing. And there's just a lot of these little unique ticks that you see from all these things. Will there be the angriest boy book in David's room? Whether it be the frog machine that they're getting high from? All these little things that make it so intriguing and so well done. Plus the character of David, another great focus point on this show. This is such a well done show. I highly recommend checking it out. I cannot say how much you're going to like the visuals of this show, and this is just the second episode, and I'm really excited to see where we go from here. So that's all I got to say about this episode. Just check it out, and good luck.